The movie begins in 2036 in Eastern Europe, where a Russian named Victor is secretly working to cause chaos. The country is at war, so American soldiers are sent to keep the peace. Along with them, the US Army brings robot soldiers, also known as Gump. The soldiers are then surrounded by enemies on all sides, and as a result of the heavy gunfire, many of their robotic soldiers are destroyed. They have no way of escaping. Lieutenant Harp, a drone pilot, notices a vehicle full of explosives approaching the American soldiers. He quickly informs Miller of the threat and requests permission to destroy it with a missile, but Miller refuses because two of his soldiers remain trapped nearby, and the explosion could also kill them. Harp then asks Captain Bryden for permission to launch the missile, but he declines. Despite her senior officer's orders, Harp fires the missile and destroys the vehicle. The blast kills 2 American soldiers, but the other 38 are saved. Even though lives are saved, Miller becomes enraged with Harp. He has disobeyed direct orders, so he is removed from her position and transferred to a military base in Ukraine. There, Harp meets Colonel Eckhart. Eckhart tells Harp that if he survives and returns from his mission, he will rejoin his old team. But if you die, your story will serve as a warning to future pilots. Then Harp meets Captain Leo, the mission's senior officer. He includes Harp in a task that requires them to deliver vaccines to a clinic. A deadly disease is spreading throughout the area, and they are attempting to save innocent people. Leo also informs Harp about Victor, a terrorist who killed 25,000 people in Ukraine by planting bombs. Victor is currently attempting to gain access to the wall system perimeter, which contains a Russian nuclear bomb. He intends to use it to kill more innocent people. Leo and Harp are now responsible for stopping Victor. While preparing for the mission, Harp discovers that Leo is an android, a robot soldier who looks and acts human. Before leaving, Leo tells Harp that he chose him because he is willing to think differently and take action, unlike others. Miller and his team arrive and begin severely beating Harp because they blame him for the deaths of their teammates. But Leo steps in to save Harp's life. Following that, they leave together to complete the mission. On the way, Harp shows Leo a photo of his girlfriend, and the two of them laugh and joke. But soon, Ukrainian citizens block their path because they do not want American soldiers in their country. They create a roadblock, and then something unexpected occurs. Someone fires a gun, infuriating the crowd. However, Leo speaks with the people's leader and manages to calm everyone down. Just after that, Victor's men attack the soldiers, sparking a massive gunfight. Victor's men detonate bombs and destroy many Gump robots, forcing Leo and Harp to carry the vaccines by foot. Finally, when they arrive at the refugee camp, they administer the vaccines to the doctor at the clinic. But just then, a sniper working for Victor fires on Leo and Harp, attempting to kill them. The shot misses them, but strikes a doctor and a nurse instead. Leo quickly shoots back at the sniper, catches him, and asks where Victor is. But the sniper won't say anything. In the end, the locals beat him to death. Then Harp instructs Leo that they should notify the command center of everything. Leo responds, "We don't have time. Right now, our only goal is to catch Victor." Later, while sitting in a truck, Leo explains to Harp that as a super soldier, he can break a few rules if necessary. After that, they meet a girl named Sophia who is fighting for Ukraine. She tells them that some secret launch codes are hidden nearby and that Victor is attempting to locate them in order to launch a nuclear bomb. She warns them that they must stop Victor before he obtains the codes. Sophia then directs them to meet a man who sells weapons because he knows where the codes are. Leo and Harp also purchase weapons from Sophia. She advises them, this money helps war orphans, so even buying weapons, you're doing a good thing. Then she drops them off at the market where they meet a man called Oshlak, but Oshlak's men unexpectedly attack Leo. However, Leo is no ordinary man. He easily defeats all of them. Oshlak tries to flee, but Leo apprehends him and forces him to reveal where the codes are. Oshlak concludes, the codes are hidden in a nearby bank. Then Sophia murders Oshlak and everyone heads to the bank. Before entering, Leo instructs Harp to remove the tracking device from his back, as he fears the Russians will use it to track them. Harp has successfully removed the tracker from Leo's back. They then enter the bank. Inside, Leo begins fighting Victor's men, while Harp assists the civilians in escaping. Now Leo is determined to locate Victor and the secret launch codes. Meanwhile, Harp calls his base for reinforcements and more soldiers arrive. Harp is surprised, however, to see that the base has only sent robots rather than human soldiers. Suddenly, Victor's men emerge from the bank, take the civilians hostage, and threaten to kill them. One of the robots starts shooting, resulting in heavy gunfire on both sides. In this crossfire, many innocent people are killed. Harp does his best to save the remaining civilians. Harp transports the people to a safe location. Then he calls command and discovers that they are sending a drone to launch a missile at that location. Meanwhile, Leo sees a man flee with the secret launch code. codes. Leo shoots at him, but the man manages to escape. However, Leo does not give up and continues to follow him. After a long chase, Leo catches up with him and inquires about the codes. Unfortunately, the man isn't Victor. At the same time, Harp witnesses a missile striking the bank, destroying everything. He believes that both Leo and Victor died in the explosion. However, Leo and Harp eventually regroup and resume their journey. Harp begins to doubt Leo's true intentions. When questioned, Leo admits, "I have been using you since the beginning." Leo purposefully made Harp break the rules so that he could demonstrate to others that Harp is out of control and does not follow orders. This allowed Leo to do whatever he wanted without being stopped. After saying this, Leo hits Harp in the head and throws him out of the car. Then Sophie's men seize Harp. Meanwhile, Leo meets Victor, and it is revealed that he has been working with Victor since the beginning. But now Victor refuses to tell Leo where the system perimeter, which houses the Russian nuclear bomb, is located. Leo has no choice but to kill Victor, after which he hunts down and kills all of his men. He finally discovers the location of the system perimeter and begins to travel there. On the other side, Harp awakens. Sophia informs him that the United States military joined the war not for peace, but for their own benefit. Harp now understands that Leo and Sophia intend to use the nuclear bomb to attack American forces because they believe America intervenes in every country's war in the name of peace while only acting in its own interests. Sophia lets Harp go, saying he is no longer a threat. However, Harp immediately returns to the military base and informs Eckhart and Miller that Leo has survived and is on his way to the nuclear bomb. Harp then requests that an officer named Bale track Leo's location. Bale finds him, but he is already near the Russian border, where American forces are not permitted to enter, so Harp decides to go alone to stop Leo. Before leaving, Miller gives him a special weapon capable of defeating Leo. Finally, Harp reaches the launch site where the nuclear bomb is stored. Inside, Leo has already entered the codes and initiated the missile launch countdown. As Harp enters the room, Leo notices him and chokes him until he falls unconscious. Then Leo presses the launch button, and the countdown to the nuclear explosion begins. Harp regains consciousness and uses Miller's special weapon to attack Leo. As the fight progresses, Leo's body begins to break down. Leo reveals to Harp his true motivation. "I want to destroy the ISS, the system that creates robot soldiers like me by dropping a nuclear bomb on America. These super soldiers do not bring peace. Rather, they exacerbate the conflict." Harp sends the missile's location to the United States Space Command, requesting that they destroy the entire launch site in order to stop the bomb. In the end, Harp launches a missile that completely destroys the area, including the nuclear bomb. This also saves America from a major disaster. Harp escapes safely and begins walking back to the base. He looks at his girlfriend's picture and remembers her fondly. Harp eventually returns to base as a hero and is reassigned to the Air Force. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.